Okay, so good morning and welcome to the 17th interview. And this interview is basically to get insights on the ethical competence of AI and its possibility in replacing HR. With respect to this particular study, right now we are on the 17th session of this interview, and today we have our guest, Dr. Alwin Poulose, and we'll try to get insights over the same topic from an academician's point of view. So, welcome, sir. And before beginning the interview, can you just briefly introduce yourself and about your background in academics?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. So my name is Alwin Poulose. I did my PhD from Kembuk National University, Daegu, South Korea, 2021. Then after that, I did postdoc, University of Michigan, USA. Then after that, I got an opportunity from ISA Trivandrum as an assistant professor. So currently, I joined as an assistant professor in School of Data Science since January 2023. My research area mainly focus on machine learning, deep learning based architecture. Basically, our research emphasize on the human healthcare system, e-health system, and human ambient living. So based on that, basically we work on some type of sensors, some type of image classification problem to identify some healthcare problems, challenges, and some architectures to address some of the existing challenges for human healthcare systems.
Okay, sir, thank you for the introduction. And before getting into the topic, let's have an understanding. What do you understand and what is your point of view on the topic like ethical competence?
So ethical complication is a very serious topic. So these days, AI is like everywhere you can see AI. So everyone is running behind artificial intelligence, machine learning models, and they are introducing this type of concept to their research areas or their technologies to improve or to achieve some of the application or some of their requirements. So as far as now my understanding is, there is no proper way of ethical issues concerns like everyone is thinking about. So as this moment, considering ethical issues for AI is like very challenging, and it's very significant as far as now.
Okay, sir, since you have mentioned that you have certain studies, especially in the healthcare sector, so can you discuss some of the ways in which actually AI is being utilized, like maybe in the healthcare sector or in the education sector, something that you feel, and what are the ethical concerns which can arise due to these applications of AI in this particular sector?
Yes. So when it comes to my research area, mainly I work on intelligence system, basically emotion recognition of human beings. So the major ethical concern is like privacy of a person. So when we collect data, we record the videos of different humans based on gender, age difference, and based on different categories. We collect facial emotion, like some videos. So there is no proper way how we can handle these videos in ethical way. So most of the researchers, they publish these videos or images without, maybe there will be some consent from the participants, but still by using this type of images or videos or some type of in case of some type of medical data, suppose if I work in a EEG or ECG based data sets, so these type of data sets are like highly confidential. Some type of medical informations are it's not transferable to outside world. So working this type of data set, it gives some type of ethical issues when it considered for artificial intelligence research. But as far as now, there is no proper instructions or some outlines how to use this data set in ethically. So there are so many chances we can process or we can utilize this data for unethical purpose. So that is the main concern when we consider ethical issues of artificial intelligence, when it comes to my research point, emotion recognition. Also some work includes human activity recognition. So in this research area, it's like a significant concern.
Okay, sir. Since you have brought in all these points, one question is that the pace at which technology is right now improving and advancing, do you think that in near future, maybe 10 to 20 years down the line, there is a situation wherein AI can actually replace some of the human resources?
So still, yes, but I cannot completely agree with that statement. So human error and machine error, this when we consider these 2 point of view, so human error, some way we can learn from that, and we can fix that issue. But if it is a machine error, so if no one can fix that machine error, then the system will be more complicated, and the scenario will be very tough or very hard time. So replacing a human completely with the machine is, in my point of view, it's not possible. So there should be some human support. So suppose if, for an example, if I say I work in autonomous driving system, mainly focus on driver monitoring system. So in that type of research area, still, like, we can say that autonomous driving system is like evolving stage. There is no completely autonomous driving system like self-driving cars. The current some of the test from the Tesla or some other very famous autonomous driving companies, they are not completely 100 percentage success. There are still the system is a failure. So my point of view, there should be some human support. So completely replacing a human with the AI is not possible, that's my understanding. And when the system is fail, or the machine cannot do at some point, the human has to take over that responsibility or duties and do manually by human. So that's what my point of view.
Okay, sir, but let me ask you something. But certain sectors, when artificial intelligence come into picture, this actually make the task easier. Say, for example, if it is from our point of view, like in our sector, basically human resources. So if there is a job opening and we are inviting resumes from the candidates. So when we manually sit into that particular process and, go and validate all the 200 plus resumes, it's a time consuming process. But when artificial intelligence, we have a support of that, it's just a matter of seconds. We can shortlist the resumes in a faster pace. So not only in this, but also in many places, when artificial intelligence comes into picture, the task become more easier. So, and obviously I agree to your point that artificial intelligence without a human interference have a lot of errors, but that errors are also there in a human when a human is also doing a work. So the only factor that is differentiating both this is about the accountability. And since you bring in the point of emotions, what do you think are the differences when a human is particularly doing a work, or when an artificial intelligence or AI is accountable to do a particular work? So what could be that difference between these two?
So to answer these questions, like, see, in your example, you mentioned about shortlisting some CVs, but when a model or artificial intelligence, they are doing this work, there are high chances or possibility to, I mean, some possibility to consider some resumes they are really eligible, or there will be some reason we cannot consider. But even in a human point of view, that's only a human can think. In human point of view, we can think about that, oh, maybe this person is eligible, or but after interview only we can take the decision. So the primary selection, just using artificial intelligence, there will be some qualified person will be not selected. And another example I can add on this, basically, the most popular AI tool everyone uses, chat gpt. So there is a scenario, like, when I give assignments to my students, or in any scenario, they use the chat gpt and they write the answer, so everything is very easier for them. So what happened is that here is the another issue, is that their creativity or their writing skill or analytical skill, everything is they're losing. So for example, in as part of our research, we have to publish papers, like we have to write research articles. So the students, they wrote their assignments and everything using artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, and they submitted. So by reading this, as a human, they can easily understand it's written by a machine or by a human. So the human errors are the significant idea behind to identify it's like human errors and machine error, or some way of writing the sentences, between two sentences, we can easily identify it's written by a human or it's written by an AI. So my point is that by using this type of AI tools for your academic purpose. Basically, I can say in academic point of view. So academic purpose, there are so many consideration. So you use this tool as a positive way. Just use the tool and improve your skills. It should not be you completely depend on this tool. And I mean, if you completely depend on this tool, it spoils your all type of skills, basically analytical skills, writing skills. So I face this type of situation for my students. So by seeing their assignments or assignments, basically assignments or project, I can see, oh, they have the result. Or even I also surprised, oh, how they got this result. Even I cannot think in that way of like some showing some results, and I asked like, oh, how this result. So at that point only I understood. They were telling, okay sir, we use the chat gpt or some AI tools to create this type of things. But the scenario or the saddest part is that they cannot explain the theory behind or concept behind that particular topic. Or similar way, when if you ask a student to write some introduction part of a research article or some related works or something, the students are struggling. So they just use the AI tools and they just get the help from them. But if we ask them to more detail about this, they are struggling to answer this type of question. So to conclude my point, like my idea is like we can use these AI tools, or we can get the help from artificial intelligence to improve our efficiency in some limit. But a person, a human should not completely depends on an AI tool or AI machine. So that's what my point of view.
Agreed, sir. But a few personal questions. First of all, say as being into this profession of into academics, basically, have you ever relied upon any AI tools, especially for your research purpose or maybe something regarding like that? If so, can you please share that experience?
Yes, of course. So in that scenario, what I can say, when I write these research articles, grammarly, most probably grammarly, I used to check my English grammar. So most of the international journals, they are very strict with our English grammar and everything. So the human errors are like very common, or the quality or the standard of English when we write, we cannot meet their journal standard or journal criteria. So in that situation, most probably I use AI tool, basically Grammarly, to correct my English grammar or English sentence construction. And some of the cases, even what I face is that when I was working in a topic more than 4 or 5 years, and I also published 4 to 5, 6 papers on that topic. Then what happened later, when I try to write something on that paper, it's also copywriting with or plagiarism with my previous papers. So in that situation, I was struggling how to solve this. So that time I use some AI tools for the paraphrasing. So the paraphrasing is same, like it's not like I copied something from somewhere, someone's paper or something. It was almost my sentence only, but the similarity ratio with my current sentence construction is almost matching with my previous publication. To avoid this type of situation, I used quilt build, yeah, that paraphrasing application, or completely based on AI only for for this purpose. I mean, for the paraphrasing or for rewriting some portions of my paper. And another way is like finding some relevant papers. That is also, I can say, some of the research papers. If you search in some Google Scholar or some of the Scopus or some of the common area, they just do, or even the IEEE Explore, they just do the title matching. So if you just type your research topic, they match with the title of the relevant papers, and they show they show the articles. But there is some AI tools. Basically, we can use that AI tools to match our topic with the content of the articles. So they correlate or they match with the inside abstract or inside the content of that research article, and they check how much similarity ratio, and they suggest this paper. So there are so many very good, very popular tools. We can effectively utilize this tool for research application or research purpose. So, and yeah, of course, if some topic or some key ideas or something, if you are lacking with some ideas or something, of course we can use the chat GPT to get the idea, not for completely depend on that tool, to get some ideas and work on ourselves, rewrite everything, also read line by line and paraphrase everything. So these are the things I can say.
Okay, sir. So, since you are in academics, I'll bring in one particular situation. It's something which even I had a personal experience also. So it is like, especially teachers basically have a kind of partiality to the students who are overperforming in the classes. Similarly, when it comes to corporate, when you are working under a manager, there are situations wherein you overrate an employee. So this kind of human bias, do you agree that literally exists between different professions or not?
So yes, I cannot completely agree with that the partiality. So as a ethical person point of view, we should not show any type of partiality or something. But when it comes to some academic situation, I can say, see a highly performing students in the case of CGPA and everything. So I can say my recent example. So there was a scholarship call or some internship call. So a student, he is performing very good, and his CGPA is very good and everything. So he approached me to give an recommendation letter. So I said, okay, of course I can give. Like his grades are very good. He performed very well in my class and everything. At same time, a student, like his performance is like not at our expectation, or like some medium or uh, below average performance of a student, and he also approached for the recommendation letter for the same scholarship. So in that type of situation, see, in an academician point of view, I can say that the highly performing student has the high possibility to get into that scholarship. So if a same faculty give multiple recommendation letter for the same internship position, there is a chances like the other authority has some concerns, like why the same person is giving recommendation letter to the same students, like in different point of view. So in that scenario, I told like I already gave this recommendation letter to one student, and he performed very well. It's not like I am discriminating the other students. So there is some real fact we have to consider. So this is one example I can say. But the other thing is that, yeah, basically in my point of view, even rather than the grade or the other performance, my concern is the attitude of the students. So if a student behavior and attitude towards to the research or science or what exactly they are doing, so basically even his knowledge wise he is not that much great, but his attitude wise he's like performing very good. So in that scenario we can consider like, okay, this person is like some way doing something good to the our science community or something. So there will be some criterias we have to follow to differentiate or to sort out some requirement or something. So it's not basically a partiality in my point of view, but there should be, in case of some way, some professors considered based on the CGPA, or some persons considered based on the personal relationship. So these are some factors to take some decision, but I cannot agree it's some one way of partiality. So partiality in the sense, my understanding, they consider in the basis of language or state or religion, or this type of partiality or this type of discrimination, I completely agree. But as based on the performance, class performance or CGPA or some type of relationship or this type of things, by considering some to decide or discussing something for a finishing some task or selecting some person for scholarship or this type of things, that's completely agree from my side.
Okay, sir. So there is a confirmation check question based on the scenario which you explained right now. So in this particular situation, let you be replaced by an automated machine or something. So in that particular situation, do you feel like it would be easy to have a decision because you have certain facts in your hand, like the CGPA of the student, the attitude of the student, maybe the rating of the student. And then if in case of a professor, it is being replaced by an automated machine, say for example. So you take into consideration the past data which is fed into you, and then based on that, the machine take a decision either to provide the recommendation letter or not. So in that particular situation, decision making is supposed to be more easier. Do you agree with this or not?
So previous data. So your point of view is like the decision making by an AI model or decision making by a human also.
Mm.
Which one is more efficient way
Yes.
to handle this type of situation? So there are some factors in this point of view. So maybe at this initial stage it will be a little bit tough to decide, okay, human decision or AI decision is the best suitable choice. But in one scenario I can say, like based on the example or a situation, so this decision we have to think. So something if that is uh, that is handled by only humans, like considering all scenarios, all factors, environmental factors, also see emotions. So emotions also
Mm.
another factor in some scenario, some situation we have to consider. As a human, only we can think in some scenario. See, for
Mm.
example, I can give an example like minimum criteria for writing an exam is like in our university, in our ISER, is like 80%. So if a human is deciding based on like who all are eligible for writing the exam, so there are some
Mm.
considerations. Some students, like they are performing very good in their academics, but they don't eligible for the writing exam because of these only attendance criteria. So maybe
Mm.
some
Mm.
personal
Mm.
issues or some hospital issues or something. But as a human, we can give this type of consideration. Okay, this
Mm.
person is like going very well in my class. So this similar situation happened in my class also. One student, he's very intelligent and he's very good in academics. So, but his attendance was little bit lower than the criteria. So we have to think the reason behind that, what was the issues, and we have to sort out that, and we have to qualify him for writing the exam. So this type of some way of situations only humans can handle based
Mm.
on the environment factors and situations and everything. But as if it's an AI, it's like a straight decision, okay, yes or no. So there is no other influencing factor we can consider. That's only human way of thinking. We cannot consider when if it is a decision made by AI. So this is my
Mm.
point of view.
Okay, sir. So, now, going further to the concluding questions, since you are in academics basically, and also you have explained like a situation wherein your students rely upon ChatGPT for assignments and other academic related works. So, what do you think? Like even the professors or the people who are in the higher authorities, their knowledge about artificial intelligence, is it limited, or is there a scope for them to be educated on this particular field?
So, so your question is about like the higher authority people. Do they have efficient or knowledge about artificial intelligence or something, or
Yeah.
the
Yes.
usage?
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. So if the person is working in this area, as completely we can say that most probably most of the cases the people they use, and
Mm.
currently most of the online materials, online blogs and YouTube tutorials, video tutorials are available. So a person is really in need to use this type of tools or this type of things for their work situations or their research applications. Of course the person will learn. But if a person they don't care about this type of things, or they really don't want to use this type of tools for any of their work environment, then of course they don't think more consideration about that. So I know there are so many still. See, I can say one example. I use most of the smart monitor or the tablet for teaching and most of the things. But there are some process they really like chalk and board and write
Mm.
everything in the board. So my case, like my personal, like I have the allergic issues with the dust, chalk dust and everything. So in that case, like I try to avoid board and everything. I use the monitor or some presentation slide for teaching and everything. So this type of like using some tool is completely depends on personal choice plus the situation. If a person really required this type of situation, like to use this type of AI tools and everything, of course the person will spend time on this and learn everything about how to use and everything. So in my case also, I initially when chat gpt introduced, I was completely again, not against, I was thinking like okay, it will spoil my critical way of thinking, my writing skills and everything. So what happened is that when my students started to use about that, I have to find what is the difference between a human way of writing and how the ChatGPT works. So the internal architecture of ChatGPT, and also some of my students work in the backbone of ChatGPT,
Mm,
how the architecture, like language learning models, LLM models, and everything. So of course, I have to learn more details about what is the internal architecture or the backbone or framework of ChatGPT, how they implemented and how they are translating or generating the sentences, and how the difference between two sentences, how they generated, and how a human can easily identify is generated by a ChatGPT. So when that situation came, so I have to learn more details about ChatGPT. I have to install ChatGPT in my laptop. I mean, I have to register and create an account and use that phone. Even another situation, some of the research areas or like some students, they approach me with some research topic that is completely different from my background. So, for
mm,
example, here either is interdisciplinary courses we have. So recently, one student from biology, she approached me with an research problem using AI tools. I mean, not AI tools, artificial intelligence, machine learning model. She has to do some classification for microscopic data, Golgi
mm,
dispersional data. So in that scenario, after 10th class, I never studied anything about biology related subject, or I have no idea anything about that. But it was a minor project in data science, so I have to spend time on that to understand what is the Golgi body and the dispersion and the theory concept behind that. But reading entire so many books or article takes a lot of time for me. So that I need to reduce this time, and also after this also, even it's not my research area, I don't have any other further interest to work on that topic. So in that
mm.
situation, I thought, okay, using some AI tool to get some basics of this concept. So using this type of AI tool in some limited scenario is really helpful. So it's completely depends on the how we use these AI tools.
Okay, sir. So, one final question. Now, obviously, you also like being a professor or even in whichever profession, your promotion, transfer, and all this is dependent upon your performance. So the question is like, instead of a human, maybe your superior, whomsoever it is, if it is an AI tool who is measuring your performance and taking a decision, will you be satisfied or not?
So that will be very challenging questions. So, of course, to be honest, I will be not satisfied if the decision should be made by a human. That's my point of view. But the person, the authority can use some AI tools, or yeah, of course, I can give an example. So they will check our publication performance. So there are
Mm,
some AI tools to see who all are my collaborating, and of course they check my H index and Google Scholar citation. These are like some of factors, like how much 40 percentage of research they will consider. So for the this type of, for this one, of course they can think about that some AI tools to monitor my progress. But it's not. I cannot completely agree the final decision made by AI tool. I cannot accept that situation. It should be a human being. So there should be so many factors that previously I stated, like there are some influencing factor that only a human being can consider, not an AI tool. So AI tool can use as a use for like monitoring some factors or something related to research oriented, or even also teaching performance. So
mm,
this type of tools we can use to monitor the performance of a person. But by based on that AI tool results, a authority, a human being can take the final decision. Okay, this person
mm.
is eligible for promotion or the further decision.
Okay, sir. That's all from our side. Thank you for your time, sir.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. It was very nice talk with you.